I still can't quite believe this marketplace deal is happening. 11:30 last night, just on the off chance, opened up marketplace and this huge bundle of stuff appeared. I thought this must have gone already. It had only been there for 50 minutes, but I still sent a message on the off chance. And I come back, yes, still available. Now I'm thinking, okay, could this be a scam? So I messaged, where's collection? They sent through the address. Can I come round tomorrow? Absolutely no problem. I then get a message saying that they have been inundated with other people messaging, asking about it. But to be fair to them, they said I was the first to message, they're going to respect that and still sell it to me. I went to bed excited, right? Woke up this morning half expecting to have a message to say, sorry Ian, not actually going to sell it to you because someone's offered me more. But there was no message like that. I've driven from Cardiff up to Abertillery to pick up this bundle. I still can't quite believe this is on. I hope it is. Hi, how are you?
The
Okay.
cause I've had is,
Honestly?
come on in. A boy just come now, he bought the PlayStation. So, and he came in here, he went, I said, sorry, there's somebody come in, you can't look at it.
Keep those eyes off. Well, thank you so much for keeping it for me. God, there's loads of them in
I've been
there.
married 28 years, I didn't know he had any, I knew about that thing, because on display that was, but then I didn't know this.
Yeah, they look brilliant, don't they?
Good conditions, right? He said, oh, I think I've got more toys, more vehicles upstairs, he's just gone to have a look now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd be up for buying those too.
Somebody just offered me £400, so you know.
What?
Somebody just offered me £400. It's still available, I'm not sure I fell out. Buy it on his way, sorry, as he was. No, I said, I didn't know what to put on there. If you don't, worth £400 plus, he said. I don't remember, but I can tell you.
Well, there's the money anyway.
What's this one now? What did you want?
400, I didn't know what to put on there, did I?
Oh, I can't let her go for 100. You put 100 on it, yeah?
Yeah, but I didn't, they said I had to put some price on there, I didn't know what to put. It was last night,
flipping
wasn't it?
heck. I can't let all that go for £100.
You just offered me 400.
Someone just offered me 400 plus for it now. Flipping heck. I take 200 for the lot.
Have you got any more vehicles?
I haven't got no. I was just looking now. I thought I had more vehicles. Like,
What about if we meet halfway, 150?
I said I get off me 400. So that's a. Oh, so, I didn't realise she put 100 on it. Sorry, but I wouldn't have wasted your time, like, if you know what I mean.
Well, there's 100 quid there anyway. 170.
170, wife.
There's another 70 quid there.
So I got inside with no. Okay, just offered me for.
Well, he said it was worth it, but I don't know what that means.
He's telling me he's worth 400. He's telling me not to let it go. Like, give me 200 and I'll take 200 for it. That's
200?
yeah. 200. 200. You take a lot.
Just forget it.
Yeah.
Nice. So 200 quid. That's what we settled on, and I've got an absolute ton of He-Man and the Master of the Universe figures. Lots of characters to do some research into. Characters I've not seen before. Some have got weapons and armour. Others are a little bit worse for wear. Got a nice mixture of vehicles mixed in. A few of these battle cats, some with armour, some without. That one's pretty damaged there. Can't do much with that. And there's a big bundle of these newer figures. These are from the early 2000s, but most of them are from the mid 80s. I've got about 60 or so characters there. In the tub here, still a few more weapons I haven't worked out who they go with yet. I did get a couple of Transformers thrown in the mix as well. Revenge of the Fallen Soundwave, he sells for about 18 to 20 plus post. And then an animated Ratchet as well. That's a 10 plus post figure there. But this is a collection I cannot wait to get stuck into. Do a bit more research. These type of pickups don't come around very often, and when they do, you've just got to jump on them. Now that was an interesting Facebook Marketplace deal, and I've not had one go like that for a long time. So we agreed £100 up front, but as expected, the lady was getting bombarded with messages. Is it still available? Can I come and get it instead? You're selling it too cheap. It's actually worth 400 quid. Now, I could gauge the seller was having a bit of a moral dilemma. They'd agreed to sell it to me for 100 quid and they wanted to honour their word. But when people are chiming in with valuations saying that you're selling it far too cheap, it's naturally going to make that seller doubt themselves. What didn't help in this circumstance was it was her husband's collection, and he had absolutely no input in valuing that Facebook Marketplace listing before she listed it. She put a price that she thought it was worth. As soon as the husband heard of it, he was like, absolutely no chance. Well, I kind of anticipated something like this happening. I took £100, but I also took an extra £100. Quick bit of maths, 60 units for 100 quid, what's that, about £1.60 each? So 200 quid is going to be about £3.20 each. Average resale price of a He-Man or Motu figure in that condition, £5 plus post. Some might go a bit less, some might go a bit more. For me, it was still an affordable way to pick up a great collection. Some bits I can add into my collection, but the rest sell on eBay. But that whole experience did remind me of a video I watched recently by the Gebs24. Now, Gemma is a retro game collector and she goes out on retro game hunts. And she did a video recently asking, is retro game collecting dead? And in her video, she touched on how she hated resellers picking up big bundles of gaming items, people's collections, and just selling them on for profit, having absolutely no connection to the items that they're buying, just simply cashing in. Profit over passion. And as a retro gaming hunter, that's taken away her pleasure in the experience of finding these deals, experiencing the buzz of when you come across something really good. I can see that. But I've got my feet in both camps. I'm a collector, but I'm also a reseller. And with my reselling mode on, I have done exactly what Gemma hates. I have found bundles of stuff on Facebook Marketplace that I have got zero interest in. But I can see the total job lot price. If I was to split that up and sell things off in smaller bundles or individually, I can make some profit off it. A good example, right? Monster High Dolls. I used to buy and sell loads of them. If I had a bundle of 20 of them, I would research each one individually, align them up with all their accessories and list them as individual listings on eBay. Yes, I might have taken away the thrill of the find for an individual close to me who might have wanted that bundle for their collection. But on the flip side, what I have then done is I have provided an opportunity for 20 other collectors elsewhere to buy the individual exact dolls with the right accessories that they really want. I've been able to impact 20 individuals' collections rather than one, albeit they would have to pay the market price to get that doll. But remember, it's going to be the collectors who are setting those prices. You can only sell something at what someone else will pay. And 9 times out of 10 for collectibles, it's collectors that are setting that price. But then on the flip side of things, as a collector, I've gone out and I've bought bundles of stuff off Facebook Marketplace or individual things from charity shops, boot sales to go into my collection. And I've paid the price that I'm comfortable with to add something into my collection. I think the difficulty comes at the minute is the stuff I collect and a lot of people my age and my generation collect are going to be things that are nostalgic to us from our childhood. From the 90s, you're looking at lots of plasticky toys that were influenced by cartoons on the telly. You're looking at retro computer games. There are definitely common themes that bind us as a generation. Now, there are things that I collect that will only be specific for me. Forest Green Rovers football shirts, for example. The competition for those is a lot less, but then I've got less opportunity to buy them because people aren't selling them. Anyway, different topic. As a collector of things that are going to appeal to a lot of people, it means the demand for those items are going to be a lot higher. Increased demand, increased price. But as a reseller, my brain is tuned that if I see something from my childhood or something that looks vaguely similar, it's going to tick those nostalgic buttons. And if it ticks my buttons, someone else of my generation is likely to tick their buttons as well. I'm going to pick that up. Now, reselling and collecting goes hand in hand with me. When I go out looking for things to sell on eBay, I'm in the charity shops and I'm in the boot sale, I do naturally come across items that I want to add into my collection as well. It's that type of environment where you find that type of thing. When I first started collecting, right, those shelves were bare and I was going out buying anything Transformer related that I could fill those shelves with. Over time, space fills up and my collecting habits change. Buying the bulk that you come across every day no longer is as satisfying. I want to find things that are more niche, more rare. Well, one way to do that is to sell off loads of the stuff that I've already accumulated and then use that money to buy an individual piece. That's reselling. How many of you, right, have bought a big bundle of things because you only want 1 or 2 pieces in it? Retro games, right, classic example of that. You might need 1 game for your collection, but you end up with this stack of games. What are you going to do with those games that you don't want? Well, you're not just going to throw them away. You're going to try and make some money back. You could take them down CEX. You could sell them on. What are you going to do with that money? Is that money there just to cover the cost of that one item that you've kept from that collection? Are you going to use that money to put something else into your collection? Are you going to use that money to pay your mortgage or put food on the table? Doesn't matter what you're going to use the money for. You are reselling. So collecting and reselling go hand in hand. Now, saying resellers ruin collecting, that's quite an emotive statement. And when I first heard that, I was probably like, oh yeah, they are. And I was picturing a reseller down the boot sale, 5 o'clock in the morning, rooting through someone's boot to try and find that one special item at a really good price. And I was thinking of that poor collector who would really want that and love that in their collection, still in bed at home. The fundamentals are collectors and resellers have exactly the same opportunity to acquire exactly the same stock. We can all go to the same places, we can all use the same apps and facilities to gather stock or gather things for our collection. Sometimes it's all about who wants it more, but more importantly, luck of the draw of being at the right place at the right time and agreeing the right price. So I don't think resellers ruin collecting, but they can definitely impact the experience. As a Transformers collector or a retro toy collector, everything is available on eBay, and if I'm willing to pay the price, I can add whatever I want into my collection. Resellers are important to that. Without resellers, right, half of these items wouldn't even be available on eBay for us to buy. But collectors are equally as important. If it wasn't for collectors driving the second-hand markets of certain things, many resellers wouldn't even bother selling those items because there would be no second-hand market. In fact, right, I've got 400 items listed on my eBay store that I wish there were more collectors of those niche markets. And in fact, I bet if you do collect something quite niche, I bet you wish that there were more people selling that stuff on eBay so you could get your hands on it. But one thing resellers definitely do, they influence that experience. And collecting for me isn't necessarily about owning and having that end item. It's about the story of acquiring that item in the first place. I'll give you a couple of examples. One of the most nostalgic things I own is tucked away behind this Furby here. The Black Barracuda. I used to have one of these as a kid, and I found this one on eBay. I paid the going rate for it, didn't have to research it too hard. It arrived on my doorstep a couple of days later. Pretty effortless. Ticks my nostalgic buttons, and it's cool to have in the collection. But in a way, I much prefer these items. G1 Scorpion Lock at the back. I bought all of those graphic novels tucked away down there. They're all Transformer ones. The seller was like, oh, you like Transformers? I've got this in my car boot. And he brought that out and I bought it for 20 quid. Completely unexpected. That was not on my radar whatsoever, but I got a really good deal for it. This I found in a toy box in Bridgend. But in the toy box, it was completely split up into its individual limbs. The arms were separate, the legs were separate, the head was off. I found those individual pieces in the box, put them together, bought it for £1. That would have just been chucked in the bin. It's now got a new life. And this Turtles bus with all the characters in, probably my best ever charity shop find this. Can't remember what I paid, 20 quid was it? Something like that. Now, I'm obviously aware of Ninja Turtles. It's got a retro toy theme, but it was never really my thing. So it doesn't really have that nostalgia. But the thrill of the find, that sums up charity shopping for me. So although it might be harder nowadays to find these bargains out in the wild, trust me, when you do find those bargains, it makes it even better. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, hit that subscribe. My next video will be out on Wednesday. I'll hit the charity shops where I will hopefully find some more stuff to add to the collection, but also to resell on eBay. Catch up with you then.